As I'm going around here, I wanted to have a kind of talk to you about some of the trials of renovating after having cancer. I think one of the things that's kind of surprised us is the effect it would have on our day-to-day lives after. And although it's a really strange thing that it feels in some ways like a long time behind us, but in another way it truly feels like our feet haven't touched the ground since coming back to the UK. It just seems to be one thing after the other, and I am really aware we both feel a bit like we're running on empty. So any added thing seems major for us. And I certainly didn't expect to be in hospital before Christmas. And I know I seem to be catching everything. And I also know that, I've got to go in hospital and that'll take a few weeks to recover from operation. That all adds into our time. And I also know, as I'm sure you picked up already, that Rich just will not stop. He's like a man possessed. He's like a man that wants to prove that he's back to as he was. And yeah, we're back. The reality of it is that he is still suffering really badly with his neuropathy. So has no feeling in his fingers, which is making even things as simple as doing a plug or turning something, it's a real struggle for him. He also doesn't have feeling in some of his toes, so he actually trips over a lot and just he falls a lot, which is just awful, and adds to his pain. He also suffers from aching. He feels that the aching will be there and the fingers, the tingling will be there, so he may as well work through it. But it's adding to his day of constant pain and suffering, really, which is awful to watch. He's going to try and see about acupuncture in the new year and physiotherapy. So we're going to see if that can make a difference and help him. But that's a side effect that we didn't know about before we started the chemo. He started the chemo. So this is all something that is, unexpected. And the scary thing is the fact we have no idea how long it's going to last for him. Some people have said 6 months, there's a difference. Some people have said full 2 years. And some people, it might be with them forever, which I think really does terrify him. So all we can do is, battle on and give him a load of praise and support. So I will do my best to get back to perfect health, which I normally am. I'm being very blessed with that, so I'm very lucky. But it's one of those things that we suddenly realised, even without this, there is a difference when you're in your 20s and 30s to being in your 50s. And we're not as young as we were. And the reality is, unfortunately, good for them, our kids are far and wide, which is what we've always encouraged, go and have their adventures. But we kind of realise that the young, strong adults would have been really, really helpful. So we miss them a lot. That would have been great. And coming into a new place, we don't have that network of friends to help yet, although everybody seems really, really friendly and kind. So we will definitely be asking for recommendations, and also not being too proud to ask for some help if we need it. We've got a wonderful young man doing the garden just to clear it, because it was overwhelming to us, and I can't begin to imagine the amount of hours and days we would have spent on clearing it, and the amount of times that Richard would have ended up falling and possibly having a really bad accident. So it's having that having the sense to say, we need help, or this is really worth paying somebody to help us with this. And although at the moment every penny is never enough, we are also very conscious that we are very, very lucky. And it is a great project. We've just got to be careful with it. So one of the things with Rich, I'm sure you've always realised that he's always got a smile on his face. And we also haven't really, when we're kind of private, and because we've gone through this cancer battle thousands of miles away from anybody, it's been one of those things that we've apart from some wonderful support, especially from our kids and parents, it's been on our own, so nobody has seen it, which, in many ways we're grateful. You don't particularly want people to see you when you're at your lowest, but you realise that what now, Richard's hair's grown back, and people just forget. I mean, it's just one of those things, they forget, or they think, oh, it's done now. And the reality is that every morning you're kind of thinking, God, is it going to be okay today? Any other symptoms? He's got a cough at the minute, which, because he still has a mass here, this might be something he has to have, but you kind of have this terror thinking, oh my God, it's back. And also the fact that people just don't think that you still need help, and that, although he seems fine, he seems great, he doesn't complain, that actually, help is needed, or just understanding that although he looks the same, he's not, and there's days that walking is a real problem for him. So it's one of those things that, while you're having the chemo and you look like you have cancer, you can see pain and suffering, you can see the hair loss, you can see the trauma, those things are still with us every day, and although things are so much better every day and we're confident we've got a good future ahead, it is still there. So it's that kind of the mental side of it that's the bigger thing now, maybe for me, and for Richie's still got this neuropathy and other things he's dealing with, but we're positive, and we're looking forward to 2024. It's going to be a good year. And anyway, I just wanted to give you a bit of a heads up on our day-to-day life moving forward.